Poetry fans here again, and I figured why not do this one from Steven Spielberg, Back to the Future 2, or Back to the Future Part 2, whatever you want to call it, Back to the Future 2. Now, for people who may or may not know this, there was not going to be a sequel. There was going to be a second one, there was going to be a third one, there wasn't going to be anything. It was going to be a standalone film. But at the time, 1989 was a bit dosing there for films as well as sequels. So in 1989, they did the third Karate Kid film. You all know what I think about that? That's a rant. And they did one that was a little bit better, that being Ghostbusters 2. I reviewed the first one, it won't be long before I do that one. So because a lot of sequels were coming out, it was a big there for films, whether it be the James Bond movie License to Kill, whether it be the Beast and so on. The list goes on. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. The list goes on. They decided to do this one, bringing out a sequel because they did it with Ghostbusters. That being Ghostbusters 2. They decided to do Back to the Future Part 2. Why not tass in on a sequel? So it kind of foils on where it ended in Back to the Future. You know, the bit where Doc meets McFly, and he says this time it doesn't have wheels, and the car fires off. You got the song Back in Time. It starts with that. The only difference is the door at Baby's Durfend, for some reason, whether she was not asked or she did not want to appear in that one, is a different story. So that's the only thing. You've got Elizabeth Sue, very good actress, still is an attractive woman for her age. You got Elizabeth Sue with the most worstest wig going. Worstest wig. Now, if people want to make fun of Jamie Lee Curtis when she did Halloween 2, the wigs they were, ought to see the wig what Elizabeth Sue wears. It's a fucking, you don't spot a mile away, it's a wig. But I went with it, it's a film. I know it was going to be a hard choice for her to play, you know, but she went for it. So in the future, you got the date song, which followed on from the original, that that song. I just feel it's just the same. We didn't have a song we're gonna get back in time. Because I felt that would have been a little bit hard on it just for this film. But you got that, in the future, it foils on, you've got flying cars. Yeah, some people say it's a kind of a rip-off of Blade Runner, which funny enough after this, you had that on a lot of futuristic films. Again, I went with it. And there's a lot of good things in this. There's a little bit of it's a mixed bag. Should it be a review? Should it be a rant? Shock or not, a rant on Back to the Future because I know everybody loves it. But when I say this is a mixed one, I feel it's a step down. A lot of people love this, the pace it. Some people say it's better than the first one. Some people insult that one. I didn't really mind that one because I felt to me this one was a mixed bag because it never really made much sense. So they're based on 2015. Now some people say it never happened. But in all fairness, what futuristic film ever happened? I can name loads of films based on the future where it hit that day and it never happened. But it's a film, I went with it. So you got flying cars, some people say it's like Blade Runner, and so on. And I loved the bit where you shot the 3D doors, it's got a bite Michael J. Fox, and he says, it still doesn't look real. You got the ad Jaws 5, which I had a few laughs and giggles at that. Probably would have been a lot better than what they're planning on doing. And Elizabeth Sue walks in, she passes out because she sees an older version of her. And there's a bit where they say you shouldn't fuck with the future, you shouldn't fuck with the past, similar to what they did in the original one. And you've got Biff, he passes his role again. And for some reason, they end up going back in the 50s. This is a bit where I say it's a mixed bag because it never really makes sense. You've got, before all that, you've got Michael J. Fox playing the mum, Michael J. Fox playing a son version of himself, where he's supposed to be a wimp. You've got these bullies, similar to what they did in the first one. Michael J. Fox gets up and twats them. I love the bit where he's on the floating state board. I thought that was pretty cool, and the bit with the chasing him. But then the bits where they're in the parallel universe, to me, that's the ultimate mindfuck. As Arnie says in the Dud Total Retail, that's the ultimate mindfuck because it's in the 50s. You get the older version of Biff meets the younger one. I do know there's a lot of deleted scenes there where the older Biff dies and he fades away, which for some reason was deleted out. And you do see Mick Five's brother in it because you never actually saw him in any of the others. He was only in the first one. And there's bits where what was originally was deleted and cut out from the original Back to the Future, where you had the one that we all know played the 5-2 as Mick Five. You do actually have those footage in it. Now there's a bit where I'm going to use the argument. The actor that played the father of Mick Five, who we all know played in the 4 Friday the 13th, wanted more money to appear in this one. They never gave him the money. He lost his temper. He turned it down, and he threatened to sue if they have any of the footage from that one. So they ended up having to cut away the footage what he did. So the bits like the bit where Biff gets him in the arm lock, what was in that one, you don't actually see him in it. You just see him get twatted and falls on the floor. All that was cut out. But I just thought it was interesting that they used bits from the first deleted scenes from the first one, but they moved it the way around. I thought that was like clever. So you got bits where he's trying to change the chronological universe. Mick Five runs out. He sees Biff gets twatted this time from what was in the first one. You've got the old Biff that can change the universe. He's got a comic where you can, if you, let's say you made a bet and you saw something in the past, so you put a bet on an horse, because you've seen what happened in the past, but you go in that past, you make that bet, you're going to win. So it's sort of like that. So he kind of goes in you see the future of Biff. There's a funny bit where they're watching Fistful of Dyers. The scene where Clint Eastwood gets shot up and he's got that metal vest, what he made in the Fistful of Dyers. That scene, I was like that bit. And that's how it got started. He was in the future and all this shit happened. But it's a dinosaur one in that one, which I love. But like I say, it has to alter everything. Biff gets chalk. He solves the bit again with the chalk and him firing off with chalk. Chalk disappears, which down falls on in that one. Then you've got Mick Five, he runs out, Chalk sees him, thinks what the fuck's happened, and he passes out. And it kind of ends like that with a twist point ending until they make that one in 1990. But yeah, I kind of like this one, but it's a mixed bag. It's very, how can I put it? It's a mindfuck. I can't lie, it's a mindfuck of a film. So he gets his girlfriend again played Elizabeth Sue with the most worstest wig. He puts her back into the 1985, even though it's an 89 film, but it's supposed to be 85. He's in 2015. Then it goes into the 50s because Biff found the comic book from that era, and you know what I mean, which kind of follows on in that. But it's very confusing. This bit, I don't get why he's doing this, why he's doing that. I like the 3D games, I like the film, I like the bit on the skateboard, I like the bit with the jaw scene. It's been 3D, and Michael J. Fox says it still looks fake. I like that. But there's bits where to me it's a mindfuck. But I don't hate the film. I little thing compared to the first one had a better story in my eyes. He's trying to get his mum back with his dad. If he doesn't, he fades away. That made sense. In this, it's like you could definitely tell they was trying to push a sequel because there was a lot of sequels around. Rewind back, Ghostbusters 2, Karate Kid 3. There was a lot of sequels, so they decided to task in making that. But I can't beat on it. It's still a good film. It was one thereafter. They made that. A lot of people say this is weak. I don't hate Back to the Future 2. I just felt the story was a little bit weaker than the first one. But I do like the ideas in a polyple universe. They change things around from the 50s. They mix from that. It's off a bit in the 80s. They based it on 2015. They keep repeating it. I know it was not like that. Yeah, I felt they cheapened it. They had to copy Blade Runner. But then after that, every film they did, they had to copy fucking Blade Runner with a flying cars. But I don't mind Back to the Future 2. It still made grossing money. It still was a big hit. And it made that. So without a doubt, fuck it. A 10-star rating for me. But into them, be smart, be safe, I'll get back in time to do the last batch of the futsal, being that. But until then, see you later.